this a little bit. The enemy of your voice. Upcoming. Let's just go live. Okay. Oh, 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 I cursed. I don't know why it was saying. Okay, this is a little bit of trial and error here. Sorry, I don't know why. I swear I did a live before where the phone was doing the live and it was whatever you call it. But anyway, it's not. So I have something a little bit to talk about here. I'm going to just try to fix this sort of. This is a little bit redonkulous, but that's all right. I suppose I can live with that. The enemy of your voice. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the enemy of your voice. And this is coming from the perspective of me having to like kind of relearn my voice over the last, as I said, probably some of you guys know over the last whatever year and a half, something like that, my voice got completely destroyed after COVID. All of the muscle memory and everything was gone. And when I went back to try and sing after COVID, I was I have to do something about this because I can see myself there's like on a delay and I feel like I've taken some bad acid or something. Do you know what? I'm on the right. I'm on the wrong. Yeah. Okay. Thought I was on the wrong channel. Because if you don't know, which many of you probably don't, I don't do um, reactions on here anymore because just it, it ain't kind of why I started YouTube in the first place. I know ain't a word, but it is tonight. I know if you're watching this and the camera's a little bit kind of off, I feel like it's off. I can see my phone looks a little bit tweaked, but man, if I just start goofing around with this, I'm like so east. I'm ECDL, European Computer Driver's License. I'm very OCD about that. I just remember like I can't go all crazy about. Um, Michael, I don't know what that comment means. Are you are you just I don't get it. Explain. Hi. Can you explain that? What you mean by that, Michael? Maybe there's a delay. Because if you're just on like trying to be a smart ass, then I'm gonna just okay. I think you're just being an asshole. Bye, Dick. You know what? You're gonna be fuck. Hang on a second. Ah, Lord, it's really annoying me. Don't swear. Don't get on my channel. Bye. Anyway, I'm not finna entertain somebody jumping on being a smart ass. So look, I'm on here. Like, I don't need this crap from anybody, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, I'm just gonna go down into why. Okay, so the enemy of your voice. I'm gonna first off, I'm gonna say in my year and a half, um, kind of relearning my voice from COVID. I followed like every YouTube vocal coach, and I won't get into this because of it, but that is the enemy of your voice is YouTube vocal coaches, because when I came, I was like looking for some sort of some some helpful input from YouTube vocal coaches on like kind of what may be the problem. Because when I went back to sing, and I thought I could just pick up where I left off, and everything just didn't work right. It didn't feel um, it didn't feel the same when I thought I was doing the same stuff with my voice. Like I felt like I was singing the way I used to, but it just wasn't coming out right and stuff like that. And I ended up blowing out my voice a few times because I was just pushing incorrectly because I was I don't know. I was kind of trying to push through the issues. And anyway, so I kind of want to also get into a little bit. So anyway, so I started following these YouTube vocal coaches and just looking for some sort of solution to my voice. And I never got it. And then what I became apparent to me that I just needed to go back and retrain myself how to do everything. And it's like working like a charm. I'm kind of remembering the feelings of the way it used to feel, because I started getting into a bunch of different things where, like, I mean, even like I was looking at some of the classical operatic stuff, and they have all these. There's one particular coach that talks a lot about bel canto style and stuff like that. There's more than one, but I mean, one of the rock guys talks about using bel canto, which there are rules. There like rules of bel canto. There's three. I can't remember. There was something like um, never change the position of like your tongue and jaw and face, or your larynx, and then don't never change emission. I can't remember the other one because I was just like, I'm trying to kind of forget all that stuff, because the more I went down those like rabbit trails and stuff like that, I was like following different schools of thought on voice, and a lot of the stuff is so confusing. Like vocal coaches, I think, especially like YouTube vocal coaches, and this is why I'm like just I'm so frustrated with even the thought of like calling myself a vocal coach, because number one, like, or they call themselves teachers or whatever, but like teachers don't learn, they just teach from a certain perspective. And I feel a lot of times they're not open minded to other things. So they'll teach you a certain way that it might feel that way for them, or something that they may have been taught, or they may like I find a lot of them are just like people who can sing a little bit, they can sing some scales, they can play piano, and they go, well, I'm a vocal coach now. And they start parroting stuff that they've heard on another vocal coach channel or something like that. And it's just like, I think the biggest things for me is perspective. Like, where are they coming from with this? Is it like from a school book, or is it from performance? or is it from, I mean, from them like performing the stuff, or is it like, them proving it through using multiple different methods? Because I tell you what, anything that I ever heard on YouTube, like I tried, sometimes things worked a little bit, but then they wouldn't. And I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like kind of not singing from like all I'm not singing from the right places because I'm listening to them talk about like vowel modification, and you have to like focus on your cricothyroid and all these different things. And I never I never thought about singing before going down the YouTube rat hole. I just used to get up and just sing. Now, I've never been a great singer, but I mean, like, I'm a professional singer for over 30 years and arguably way more of a performer than I am actually a singer. Like, I'm not, I'm okay. Like, I can hold myself up. Like, and like, the thing is, people walk away going, "Oh my God, you guys were great. Like, you're the best front man." And there's even this guy that comes to see us like all the time at this one place. And he was just like, he was like, "You're just like the perfect front man." I'm like, I don't even know where it comes from. It's just like I just get up and like I don't really think about it anymore. It just kind of comes through me, and I think that's the best place to perform from is just let it come through you. Because I actually just like looking at this one vocal coach. Like I got an email from this person, and it was like, "Here's my live performances, everything from contemporary rock to like opera." And then I looked at the video. I got to see her doing live performances, and I was like, okay, the opera stuff was pretty good. Um, although on one point she kind of went like up, like went pitchy in upwards direction. And like I'm not trying to be critical of pitch because I know that I could be off pitch, and I don't care. That's one thing about like if I ever perform, I don't like effects being on my voice because it hides stuff, and it also messes me up when I'm talking and stuff with this reverb. I just don't like it. It's just like it's like I feel it's like you're hiding, trying to hide behind something. I don't like when people mime. I don't like pitch correction. I don't like um what's that, auto tune, all this stuff. And I see this all the time, like on other YouTube vocal coaches. I see them like perform a song, and I can hear that's like, there's even auto tune on some of these things. These guys are miming. I'm not saying they haven't recorded them, but they're they may have recorded them, but they're miming. And I'm just looking on, I'm just going, I mean, like I've done some videos, and like somebody was like, commented like pitchy, and I'm like, okay. And somebody I know was just like, they just like commented back. They're like, just people aren't used to hearing live vocals that like are live, and there's going to be mistakes. But anyway, that's how I roll. Like I roll like old school, right? Okay, so I am old. Like I'm over a certain age, and that's one of the struggles, I suppose. Um, like there's a few things attached to getting older that are a struggle. Getting older and singing and performing really is starting to kind of like it's starting to annoy me in some ways. Although like it's funny. It's like it's not starting to. It has for a while because like I had so many health issues. And what was I gonna say? Is this thing like updating? Okay, there's just nobody on. Is there nobody on? Nobody's watching this. Okay, like I'm gonna leave. I leave these up for a little while because it's kind of part. Um, I like to do these surprise. I know it's probably stupid to do them surprise, but I just noticed that I have 16,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. I'm excited about that because it took me a long time to get like any subscribers. I was putting stuff up and it didn't matter to me. And the subscriber number doesn't really matter to me either anyway. Like it doesn't, I mean, I appreciate all the subscribers, but like I don't, it's not something I'm like, "Oh, I want to get like a million subscribers. I do know that having a million subscribers will give me a wider reach, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of what I want to go to. I'm going to go down in like just kind of a few things. Oh, before I go, one of the things I was going to riff on, riff, riff, it was, it kind of was occurring to me earlier when I was messing around with a song that I hadn't sang in a while. And I've never sang this song live, so it's kind of weird. So it was like picking apart little parts of it. Spoon Man by Soundgarden, as if I didn't know, but I was just like kind of trying to think of like what am I going to say, and that's so there's a weird thing about like Chris Cornell's voice was always kind of like a thin voice, but he also has a darkness to it that's really lovely. And the thing is, I used to be able to sing and sound like him just so easily, but since COVID, I was like really pushing and getting in the throat. And then so I kind of went back to the old school me, just learning to sing and going how because I used to like really like learn a lot of my technique and how to bring the falsetto-y or head voice sound into a chesty sound was start off with the head voice part of it and then kind of just bring in more support to where I could get like what I felt like to be like a good strong performance out of it. Like I was really like pushing into it. So yeah, where was I going with this? Okay, so like, anyway, the best thing I could say because I'm getting to the point here. I know like I'm like sidetracked here because there's a bunch of stuff here I wanted to share, which is like this is kind of my update of where my channel is and stuff like that. And I recorded a video about this, and it ended up being like I don't know over half an hour, and I just hate editing. I'm just like, oh my god, Jim, why do you have to talk so much? It's like now you're probably watching this going, oh my god. You can watch all of my videos probably on 2 speed because I tend to talk slow. Um, it's mainly from being from Ohio. I think it's everyone has a real slow draw back here. Or I don't know what it is. Maybe I've got mental issues, but um, well, I know I have mental issues, but I don't know if I'm like have a mental disability in that area. But I do know I have like serious mental issues. Yes. Mental issues in the fact that I know that we're in a simulated construct. Let's put it that way. And how do I know this? Because I follow the Archaics channel. And if you know what's good for you, you'll get on that too. So yeah. Okay, so this is the best thing you can do for your voice. So you know the worst thing is don't watch YouTube vocal coaches because they'll just confuse the crap out of you with all these lovely terms that sound amazing. You'd be thinking about next time you go to sing, you'd be thinking about vowel modification. How do I sing this vowel and cricothyroid this? And, I got to do something with my throat to make distortion, which is bull crap. Like I saw a video earlier about somebody talking about safe distortion and like you have to do all these sort of weird things with your throat. No, it's not. The This has nothing to do with your throat per se. I mean, your false folds are nowhere near your throat, right? Your false folds are like at the back, and fry is like, has nothing to do with your throat. None of that. But when you start thinking about throat, you stop thinking about everything else is supposed to just happen. And the best times I've ever sang in my life is just when I just like relaxed into it and just I knew what the words to the song were for the most part. I'm often horribly wrong at um, lyrics because I grew up in a time when lyrics weren't online. You couldn't get them. Like if you had a cassette, it was like super tiny. Like I don't have a cassette here, but and then like in a CD, same. It was like you had to like pull out the thing and you could look at the lyrics and they were really small. But I never bothered doing that. I would just put the CD in. I never really bothered with like trying to learn the lyrics per se. I would just kind of form what I thought was the guy was saying, or like I would sing along and just kind of get the same vowel feeling or whatever that they were portraying. I didn't even like if I didn't even know the word, whatever word I had would be kind of close, just in the same it would rhyme maybe, and it would be in the same kind of if it's an E, it would be kind of E, I don't know. Like, okay, so memory, enemy. I swear, I said enemy, enemy, or is it memory, memory? So enemy, because he is a wait. Anyway, like I don't know. That's I digress. Okay, but anyway, the point was like I would just sing along with these albums. Uh, so the biggest enemy of your voice is like listening to vocal coaches that are confusing the crap out of you. My advice would be just sing stuff that you love, feel it, and um, there are a few things that you need to learn. But I mean, when I say need to learn, to get like the optimum out of your voice, to get the optimum power and sustain and tone and like to really like develop your own voice. But I think the more anyway, this is my own personal experience. The more I learned, the more rat hole I went down. The more I learned, the worse I got as a singer. The worse it just like I was just like, and the more depressed I got because I felt like, why am I not getting this? How come they sound so good? And some of the, I mean, some of them do, some of them don't, but like for the most part, it's like, why are they like, how come it's so easy for them? Like they seem to be just easily, and then a lot of them also like, um, I never think they had. I don't think they had a struggle ever. Like you know what I mean? Like I think for the most part, like a lot of them just sing naturally, and they go, well, I'll be a vocal coach because I can sing naturally. But for me, I needed someone who's been through the same horrible crap that I was through, like coughing too much to lose my voice, not having the muscle memory because I'm older and I had a couple of years off when I wasn't performing, and some of the stuff kind of when I came back, I was like squeezing in the wrong places and stuff, and even I listened to some of these like talking about the squeeze, how do you relax your voice and stuff like that. I was like, that didn't help either. So anyway, so that's the biggest enemy. But the biggest benefit that you could do also is sing along with songs, but sing with the whole song as much as you can. Like if you're having struggle with a certain part, go back and redo that part until you go, okay, this is what I need to sing. Like I'll just give you an example. Like um in Spoon Man, he's really kind of Spoon Man. If I think of the way it is, that's like if I sing that in head voice. Spoon Man, come together with your plan. Save me. I'm together with your plan. Say, you hear how it's like it. With your plan. I can say plan, but when I try to get down into the with your plan, starts to get a little bit squeezier. Now I'm not gonna be singing my best because I if I've eaten, I don't sing my best, and I have eaten, and it's like what 10 o'clock here now. I'm not making up excuses, but I got like a crap load of food because I eat one meal a day generally now because fasting is like my new jam to help with the thing called autophagy. It's one of these things I'm getting into, like health in general. It's having a great impact on my total health as an over 50 rock singer. Well, rock and pop. I do the pop sort of stuff for the weddings, but I do a rock gig where it's like, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, just trying to think, like Nirvana. What else do we do? Doors. A lot of those kind of 70s ish stuff. But those are the ones where I'm like really belting it out as much as possible. We do a few Police songs as well, which those are like really super high. And you got to use a little specific kind of a rasp to go with that. But where was I going? So, as someone who has to sing for a living right now because YouTube doesn't pay, I mean, like you'd probably like I'm embarrassed to say how little I get from actually from YouTube. Like, okay, so I don't have a lot of subscribers, and it's pretty comical. Like, I started this reaction channel, and somebody sent me like a tip, which I was grateful to get. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for the tip. So if you're watching this and you're on the reaction channel and you saw this, I'm grateful for that tip that you sent, but it was $10. And when I make 130 bucks an hour and it takes me like, let's just say to make a reaction video, it takes me, anywhere from the time to get it set up to recording the thing, it could take like an hour roughly. And I'm trying to learn a new software that makes it all a little bit easier. But like I'm learning a new software. Ain't nobody paying me for that. And which is cool. I don't expect somebody to like, play the smallest violin in the world for me over that. But it's like when somebody sends me a $10 tip for the video takes, I don't know, hour and a half to do just to record. And then it takes another sometimes 3 hours to like edit it properly if I'm gonna like do all cuts and stuff. And like, I mean, you're getting this live, so there's no cuts, which I get extremely critical on cuts. And you're probably watching this going, yeah, I don't want to watch this because he's just like talks so slow. I might do that myself. If I was watching me, I'd be like, man, you talk so damn slow. Two speed, which I guess you can't do when you're live. So probably people are like, I don't want to watch him live. He talks too slow. And I don't even know. Is this thing even? Well, it must be live or it must be public. I think because somebody I don't even know like got on and was like, maybe I scared away some of the. Oh, two people are watching. One of them is me. The other person is just a creepy pervert that doesn't want to. That doesn't want to comment. I'm just kidding. If you're that creepy perv. Anyway, it's been 30 minutes, and I'm gonna go down through this run of stuff that I recorded a video on this, but I didn't edit and stuff yet because that one's gonna take a long time because I went on like forever on that one, and I need to just cut a bunch of stuff out. But you're gonna get like the super condensed version because you are the one person watching this. Oh no, back to the the best thing that you could do. Okay, so this is like this is the gold here is that the best thing that you can do to improve your voice is to start singing in a band where like you can't just stop after like the first verse and go okay, like you can't like dip in and out. You have to perform it. And then I would say the best thing you can do is get out and perform live because what you'll do is you'll make mistakes that you won't forget because you'll be embarrassed as hell. Probably. If you're like me, you'll be like, oh my God, that gig was trash because I didn't do X, Y, and Z. Excuse me. And that's why like I put together like a vocal cheat sheet. It's not here with me, but I put together a vocal cheat sheet. Blah, blah, blah. It's easy for me to say. I put together a vocal cheat sheet for myself that so that I wouldn't forget the things that I did the night before. Like it all had gotten that bad, like with my voice. I was like, okay, I had a good gig last night. What did I do? I'd be like, okay, I did this, and that. And all of that stuff kind of became the formulation of the culmination of putting together something that like I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet, but it's gonna be like a program of like how to teach yourself how to sing. Because I think in that I've compiled like the ways that worked for me the best. And there's also like there's fundamentals that it's like you can't skip some of these fundamentals. And no vocal coach really talks about these in the depth that they need to be understood. And I don't really understand why, except for the fact that if they did, then you wouldn't need them because it's really down to three fundamentals. And if they shared those 3 month fundamental three if they shared if they shared those three fundamentals, you wouldn't need them because you could just go off and do those three fundamentals and then everything would be a-okay. Like these three fundamentals will they'll fix your tone, they'll fix your like sustain. You can sustain notes longer. They'll fix your pitch. They will fix your ability to hit high notes with power. And that's basically it. You don't need to know anything else. You don't need to know the biology. You don't need to know your cricoid, thyroid, blah, 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 this, or your like vowel modification, any of this other crap. You don't need that. I've even heard one vocal coach who is like, to be honest, I think he's great. I think he's got a great voice, sings great, but he talks about like the vowel determines the range or something like that. The range determines the vowel. I can't remember exactly which way it goes, but I'm like, that doesn't make any sense because you have to sing like you might have to sing a word that the original singer sang in, and you can't say that. I mean, you can. Obviously, this guy's saying it, but I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, I just want to say this is the rundown I'm going to kind of go through here in terms of what that video that I recorded that I haven't published yet. Okay. So I tried to put on a brave face over the last whatever because I've been through like physical um physical health hell basically. Everything is falling apart in my life. My voice, my leg was like I pulled my groin muscle to the point where like I could barely walk. And when I did walk, I had to walk the dog. And then when I'd come back from walking the dog, all I could do was just lay down there. I was in such excruciating pain when I was walking the dog around. I was like literally had to go like I literally had to like hold it together. Like seriously, it was so. And then, so for the last while, I've had to put on this like brave face over all this and kind of like pretend I wasn't going through like a complete shit show of hell in my life for the last, I suppose, year and a half or something like that. So, and ego is all that. That's all ego, right? You know, it's like, oh, how can I be like a YouTube vocal coach if I can't sing and all this blah blah blah. And that was kind of silly because like when I think about it, it's like I don't really associate myself with YouTube vocal coaches because they're all trying to teach you the same thing. They're all trying to sell bread to you from my perspective. Like it's like they're all selling white bread to you. And it's like, you know, here's a loaf of white bread. It's going to take you a certain amount of time to get through and it's not really going to be healthy for you and it's going to cost a lot more than um yeah, I guess I don't even know where this analogy is going, but I'm going to say like I sell you a donut. So you can consume the donut. It's super sweet and you get through it. It's super satisfactory and super sweet. It's just the worst analogy ever. Anyway, forget that. That is not part of the original video. It's so stupid. Why I started YouTube was because I wanted to pass the torch off to the next generation because I'm getting older, right? And I always genuinely wanted to hold back my secrets because I didn't really want anybody else knowing them because I figured they would take my gig. And now I'm at a point in my life where I'm just like kind of I would like to go see other singers that perform well. And anytime I see a singer, even if they're a good singer, they're not a good performer. And that is another big reason. That's another um, secret sauce of mine, I suppose. Like, I perform regularly, I do a great job at performing for pubs and weddings and all that stuff. So I can teach people how to do that so they don't look boring on stage and they so you can talk to people on stage and like be a great frontman slash MC or whatever, like to get like to increase your value as a performer. Um, the other thing is mindset. I spent a lot of time getting my mindset together. And even though I just said like everything in the last year and a half has been super depressing and I've been putting out an ego out there, it's never been from a place of like, I mean, some of the stuff has got me super depressed in the fact that I couldn't have, my it was super depressed, more so like frustrated rather than super depressed. But I always kind of felt like, you know, whatever whatever happens, like happens. Like, it's so I kind of rise above that. I don't know if I was telling you guys about the pendulum swinging from like happy to sad. I think I did that in the last one. And I take down these lives because I'm like, look, I leave them up there for a couple of days and I just take them down because it's like, if you couldn't be bothered subscribing and jumping on, I'm not going to leave them around forever. Plus, it's just kind of like when I do a live performance as a band, like I don't record it and then sell the video. So it's like I just take them down because I'm like, it's kind of an on the night thing. For me, it's a special thing of like doing a live and sharing that moment with whoever may be on that other weird pervert that's there. Two watching now. One of them, I swear, must be me. I mean, actually, I know one of them is me because I'm sitting here watching. Actually, you know what? The other one is me too. I think. Yeah, because I had an incognito window. So check it out. Watch this. Look, boom. Now there's only one person watching. It's going to show 1 minute. I'm not even going to publish this piece of crap because the only person got on was this guy I had to kick off because he was being a jerk. That's funny. Maybe I should start announcing these. If you're watching this after, let me know if you find any value in it. But probably not because it's turned out to be rather a bit of a shit show. And where was I going from that? Okay, that's why I started YouTube. I was just like, I'm going to share my stuff and still be a professional singer because that's my thing. Like I suppose that's my seems to be my only value in life, or my just my love, and like I'm so grateful that I get to do it, and it's probably um, my best option for reaching the world. Currently, YouTube doesn't seem to be because no one's watching this except for me. Just monitoring the chat for any other. Okay, so then, but I wanted to continue doing COVID, or I knew I was going to say this was supposed to be super short. So then COVID ended my live career. I'm just going to say these. COVID ended my career, live career, because it just everything was on lockdown. Okay. So then I started going down this road of being a life coach and a spirit guide because I'm quite evolved in the spirit, in the spiritual awakening realm. I would say that I am pretty evolved. I know that, and I'm only kind of comparing that to where I was before. I'm not going to compare it to anybody else. I don't really care where anybody else is, but I know where I'm at myself as far as life coaching and spirit guide. And I know that I've helped a lot of other people in that life coach realm. So I may end up going to that because like I don't know, like the whole vocal coaching thing, there's so many of them are like catty and there's such a load of BS out there, like in terms of like the terms of trying to confuse people. And then like me, I got ripped off by a vocal coach when I bought his program. I was just like, they're all like full of crap. Like there's ones like how to sing. I don't want to use the actual title, but it's like um let's just put it this way, how to sing better than everybody. And I'm like, how is that even possible? Like, you know, number one, that's subjective. Like I could say I sing better than everybody now, but somebody would go, no, you don't. But somebody could say Dimash sings better than everybody, and like there'd be some people will say, no, he doesn't. And if you're a deer on here, you'd be like, yes, he does. You're probably commenting after they go, yes, he does. If you're even watching this, I wouldn't suspect anybody's watching this now because average view time on these is like 5 minutes. Anyway, part of the reason why I'm doing these as well, I'm going to get to that. Right, the rest to be continued because I couldn't be bothered with this. Fuck, I mean, like I did a video on it. I'm just um a big the whole. Here's the punchline of why I'm doing this in the first place. I'm doing this to put my money where my mouth is, to practice what I preach, because there's that two pieces of advice lately that I've given out. There's a guy who I follow who's like he plays guitar and he sings. He sings like all these great like 90s songs. Nathan Wesley Art. If you don't already follow him, give me a thumbs up for that. Let me know in the comments if you know Nathan Wesley Art. That's the channel. His name is Nathan Wesley. And I don't know why it's art. I think he was just sharing some of his art. He draws as well, but he's like a fantastic singer. And he was like, he started to go live. He's like, he's all annoyed with himself. Like he's like, these aren't proper shows and all this stuff. And now he's got like, I don't know, I think 50,000 subscribers or something. And, maybe there's like 500 people watch the video or something like that. But I was just like, dude, just show up as you, right? Just be you because that's what people like. So just show up as you and just do you and sing and play guitar. And I got the hiccups because I ate really fast because I was super starving. Sorry. Um, so I told him that just show up as you. And then the other night, I was talking to this guy that comes out and sees it. The same guy was saying like, "Oh, you're like the great performer," and he's like, you're like even almost better at the comedy between songs. Now, maybe not on here because it's hard to have banter when I'm staring at a phone, like, especially since I'm the only watching the friggin' live. It's like completely impossible to have banter with yourself. No, it's not because I do it all the time. Talk to myself all the time. I'm not gonna lie, I am like mentally disturbed. But anyway, I was saying to this guy, and he's there all the time, and he's sitting in front of a pint, and he's like, I was talking to him about like he said he used to do blogs. And I said, how come you don't do blog? Like he writes comedy, and he's talking about writing these comedy blogs. And I was like, what, like, how come you don't do them anymore? And he said, well, like I tried, like I wrote 10 blogs and like nobody, I said, you tried 10 blogs. And I was like, that's not trying, man. I'm I said to him, there's a guy called Seth Godin who writes a blog every single day, and he has every single day for the last 15 years or something like that. And there's another guy who just in terms of like putting in the reps and stuff like that, he's a guy called Alex Hermosi, and I talked about him in the last live. He's like one of my favorite like marketing dudes, and he said that he had a podcast where he did a podcast every day for like 4 years before he even got like 10,000 subscribers to his podcast. So anyway, I was telling this guy, Nigel, about these other stories, and I'm like, dude, just write a blog every day. Just get up and make a habit of writing a blog every day. Just do it. Just like don't do any like just dedicate yourself to doing that. And he goes, well, he goes, I don't know if I can dedicate myself to that. Or he said, I'm not the kind of person that's like dedicated. And I looked at the pint in front of him because he does consume an awful lot of alcohol. And I looked at the pint in front of him and I'm like, I'm not being critical, but how often do you go a day without one of these? And he goes, oh, like probably never. And I'm like, okay, then you're dedicated to that. So how much is that paying you? You know, if you've done one of those every day, why can't you do a blog which will actually benefit your life? So I was preaching all over the place to two different people. And it came time tonight for me to think about doing a live. And I was like, I don't really have anything prepared. I don't really have any notion what I'm going to talk about. Um, I don't feel like doing it. I'm tired. Just ate. My stomach is super full. I just want to chill out and watch Redacted because it's my guilty pleasure. And like, I don't really watch movies or Netflix or anything like that, but I do watch Redacted, which is it's like it's like the news that the mainstream media won't tell you. So still, it's news. And I'm like, it ain't doing me any favors. Like it's good. It's good. Like as far as like what's going on behind the scenes, because I tell you what, if you watch mainstream media, all you're getting is the stuff that the people that control all of the media in the world and all of the money in the world and all that stuff. It's the narrative. It's their book. It's their leaflet for having control over you. Not leaflet. It's their blueprint for having control over you. And you'll see they all say the same stuff. Misinformation, disinformation about what things that turn out to be true later. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. But like redacted will go around that sort of stuff. Go like this is what they're not telling you. What they're not showing you, all of this stuff, whatever. So I just kind of I watch it, I try to watch it on like a certain speed because like they are entertaining as people, but I find it kind of like if I'm if like it's late now, I'm gonna watch it. I'm sure like on 1.5 or 2 speed or something, so I can just kind of get the gist of it, and I'll fast forward through a lot of it. Because what I do, like a lot, I just get the gist for the most part, and I do, like if I'm there's other things that I want to do this evening as well, and it's like quarter to 11. Um, I forget what those other things are, but I know what no, I know what they are. Like I like to catch up on my YouTube stuff, and I'm reading this book is like something like "Behold a Pale White Horse," which was recommended to me, and it's pretty interesting. It's again about like the um, the narrative of the powerful and how they want to like feed you what they want you to believe. But if you really want to know, like kind of from my perspective, like there's a bunch of people that I follow in general. I used to be more a lot of into this kind of the Gaia stuff, spiritual stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, the, woo woo guru stuff. But I kind of it's such a weird path I've taken down all that sort of stuff. And if you want, you can. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna mention it here, but I was gonna say like I have another channel. It's like dedicated to the woo woo stuff, the spiritual and the stuff. um, what's this? What's the word for it? Uh, our state. I can't think of what the word is. I can't use words at this hour. I forget what they all are. And my water's dripping over there, which means like I gotta go shut that off too. Because you can't waste water. Water's precious. So be grateful for water and whatever else you have. I'm grateful for you if you did turn up to watch this. But I'm also annoyed with you because you weren't here on live. So if you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can at least join me. And I will be not so much of an idiot and like I will try to announce these. Hey, someone else is watching. Hello. Unless it's me again. Hello, me. It's me again. Okay. I gotta bounce, yo. I'm gonna get up out of here and I'm gonna make a hot cacao with honey in it before it's 11 because I fast and I've got if I go 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So if I eat 11, I can't eat until 3 p.m. tomorrow because that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Minimum of 16 hours. Today, I think I went like, I don't know, it was almost like 24. No, greater. It was more than 24. I actually considered going a whole other day because I was like, I'm not really that hungry. Anyway, I love you guys, or I love you, one person that's watching. And I love me too, so I love both of you that's watching. Me and whoever the other person is. Creepy pervert who's not announcing yourself. Let me know in the comments if, whatever. Let me know something. Dan the Man 8! Is you the creepy pervert? No, it's somebody just jumping on. No, creepy pervert left, or Dan the Man left. Dan the Man 8. Anyway, man, I'm gonna jump off here, Dan the Man, because I just gave my monologue of why I'm leaving. And I hate long goodbyes, so only problem is I don't know how to short goodbye this because it's on the phone. How do I shut this? Edit video. Stop. Oh, maybe I stopped it. No, it's still live. Man, this is now there's 4 watching. Maybe I need to do these later. Isn't 11 p.m. too late for me? Yes, I'm old. Okay, so there's only 2 people, me and Dan the Man. I love us both, Dan the Man 8. And I don't know how to end this thing, so you're gonna have to look at my watch. This is gonna be weird. This is gonna be me watching you, watching me, watching you. Orientation is locked. Oh man, I wish I could have figured that out before. It's locked. I gotta shut this thing off, man. Bye. Bye, Dan. How do you? I said no. Okay, yeah, there I figured it out. See you, Dan the Man 8. Love you.